All right, guys, so let's get started here. What a great Thursday. I love Thursdays. But once again, I just want to mention that this whole month is typically a good month for me anyway, because there's always a lot of volatility in the market. And then with everything else that's going on in the world, this is the best time to trade. All right. So let's take a look at how I started the morning. We started off in the in our live room for the first 30 minutes. You know that I was long on the mini Russell. I did, once again, I said I was going very light. I didn't go very heavy at all because I really felt there was a lot of pressure in the market, and I did look at the other indices. The other indices were down as well. Small Dow was down as well. The only thing that was up was really the mini Russell. But I did get triggered to buy, and once again, guys, gotta follow your pattern. Gotta follow your patterns. All right. So once again, it's adjusting size. If I see the other markets are going down, the other indices, I do look at correlations quite a bit. I do look at volume. You know, if I get a buy, I may not put a lot of size on it. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to take the buy, okay? And I do that a lot, more so probably in the mini Russell because I see, the mini Nasdaq, because a lot of times the mini Nasdaq will go opposite of what I'm seeing in the small S&P or the mini Russell. But in this case, I did take the HF3 buy on the mini Russell. I had two targets. And, excuse me, as I mentioned, I was just going for target number one. I didn't want to go for target number two. Why? Because I didn't feel real comfortable with the trade. But I did take it, put on a small position. I may have added to it based on what the market was doing at the time, but I didn't see any reason to really add to it. So I did get out of target number one. Could have gone out of target number two, but once again, I'm not real confident I'm going to hit that first target, okay? And that's what I did, which is different from what I did on the mini Nasdaq. So let's take a look at the mini Nasdaq. All right, here's a trade on the mini Nasdaq. So just like on the mini Russell, I ended up having an HF3 buy, pretty much bought it at the high of this move here. But once again, did a light position because I don't know why, it was just the volatility has increased. On one hand, still took that HF3 buy. I did have some higher targets up there, but once again, didn't want to go too heavy on this. So the plan was to get out at target number one, which it never even got close to, but it did finally start going down, and it hit and reversed. On the reversal, okay, this doesn't always happen, but on the reversal, I ended up getting an HF1. So I went ahead, not only did I take the HF1, but I felt a lot more comfortable putting some size on it because all the other indices were down. The Dow was down, the small Dow was down. Market was looking very weak, saw volume coming in, saw shorts coming in, so I went ahead and added. And then we did have my first target, did have a lower target down here, target number two. I did not get out of target number one, but once I hit target number one and bounced, I went ahead and I added again. Everything was still saying this market's coming down, guys. So I went ahead and added on target number two, added on this bounce back up. I added to my short, and then I finally got out once it hit target number two, which was down here about a little bit after 1 o'clock. Actually, I'm sorry, right before 1 o'clock. Went ahead and got out. I did have a resting order sitting down there, so it got me out, and just a beautiful trade. Now, what was interesting is we just had all kinds of opportunities. I did have a buy coming in later on in the afternoon. I did not take it. I was not here, actually. I was out, and I had other things to do, and I just missed a lot of great trades. So this is one of those unusual days where it's like you don't have to just trade in the morning. As long as the market's moving, there's good volatility, good volume, a lot of interest. We want to keep trading, all right? In this case, I did not, so I took my profits. So overall, man, just a really good day. I could have done even more. I could have done a lot better had I been able to stick around a little bit, but still not a bad day. And I wanted to show you something here because, next week I want to start adding in gold. And I was talking to the people in the chat room this morning, and I was telling them that, and this is in my Discord channel, that I was telling them that gold was a really nice short. Let's take a look at gold real quick here. All right, so here's gold. So once again, I'm not putting these trades out on the gold, but I just want to show you that gold's definitely heating up, and I'm going to be in it next week. So we're going to introduce We're going to introduce the metals, probably even some crude natural gas, probably more on the crude oil side, but we'll see what natural gas is doing come Monday. Definitely put any gold back in. And definitely going to continue to trade the indices, but gold had just a beautiful short. I was talking to some people this morning saying, hey, gold looks like a really nice short. It didn't hit target, but what's interesting is after that, turned around, had a nice little buy up here, all right? And it also hit target. So, once again, I don't want you to think I traded gold. I did not trade gold, but it would have been a beautiful day. Taking a short on the gold, turn around, buying it, also making money on the upside. I mean, guys, these patterns are really, really strong. And so, I want to talk a little bit more about the whole idea behind the way that I trade, okay? So, I've been doing this for 40 years, all right? And I see this over and over again, and I really saw it in my early career back in the 80s when I actually was a broker, and I saw a lot of my customers, it's just, I couldn't understand why everybody was trying to trade the markets the same way. They're all using the same indicators, they're all, they're looking at Gann, Fibonacci, they're looking at all of this stuff, and they even do it today, which just really surprises me, and everybody's losing money. All right, so I realized early on, and this is so important, if you want to make a career out of this, you guys got to think outside of the box, all right? You've got to look at markets differently. You've got to find things in the market, patterns, whatever. I'm a big believer in patterns because they're very specific on their entries. But whatever the case may be, is you've got to find something that is not in the public domain, number one. The other thing is you got to find something that's different, okay? You've got to be getting in and getting out, or most people are not getting in and getting out. Now, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you will see some patterns setting up, all right, that are going to be close to maybe support, maybe resistance, which I'm not a follower. I don't even look at that when it comes to my patterns because I'm only concerned about a couple things. Is my pattern giving me a buy or a short? Am I seeing multiple patterns on multiple time frames? Is it all leading up to giving me a buy or a short? Giving me multiple targets with my Einstein formula, which is totally different than the patterns. Einstein is something that tells me where my targets are, high probability targets, of course. All right. And, am I seeing good volume coming in? Am I seeing interest coming in? That's what we're looking for. All right. And that's what I'm looking for. These patterns, once again, they are not in the public domain. So don't think that this is some pattern that you're familiar with, because I promise you this is not a pattern that you're not familiar with. There's only a handful or so of people that understand these patterns. All right. And once again, I do not sell, and I want to make this very clear, I do not sell to brokers. All right. I will not sell to a trading firm. All right. And whoever buys and understands, and I teach these patterns, it comes with a pretty strong non-disclosure agreement that I get a copy of, my attorney gets a copy of. Guys, I'm very, very serious about this. I'm not selling junk to anybody. What I'm showing you does work. That's why I do it live every morning. And this is unique. This is not something you're going to find in some book. Don't think this is going to be a rehash of something you're going to find in a book. Okay? And we strongly enforce this non-disclosure agreement, okay? So that doesn't mean 3 of you guys can go in and buy it and all 3 using it, all right? And we do have our ways of tracking down who is going to be distributing this, because I promise you there's nothing out there, all right, that people have traded that eventually somebody slips and gets out, all right? And I've seen some pretty big I've seen some big cases of people going after people disclosing. So I just want to make this very clear, guys. If you're one of those that's just a system junkie and you want to buy this and distribute it, not going to happen, okay? This is something I'm very, very serious about, and only a handful of people so is going to learn how I trade with these patterns and with Einstein, all right? So I'm not trying to be a hard ass. I'm just letting you know that I'm very serious. This is how I make my living. I am a trader. I'm not a marketer. I don't sell you a bunch of crap. That's why I make it very reasonable for people that if they don't want to learn how to do this, they can come into my room, my Discord channel. It's only $50 a month, all right? I know a lot of people don't have a lot of money, so great, that's fine. You can watch me trade, all right? Watch me trade. Try before you buy. Don't just Don't just buy something because it sounds great. You guys got to see it work live before you jump into something, all right? And if you're seeing a bunch of, if you start seeing a bunch of indicators and stuff on somebody's chart that you're familiar with, you need to run away, all right? Some people may laugh for that, but the people that are laughing, I want to watch you trade live with those indicators, all right? It's just, they're not consistent, all right? The beauty about patterns, and this is also really important, if you guys are going to go out and find patterns, or you're going to find something that works, you shouldn't have to modify it for every different market that you trade. So if you've got a pattern that works in gold, you want to see that same pattern work in say a crude oil, or you want to see it working in the S&P 500, or you want to see it working in the Forex, in a currency, all right? That is a strong pattern. That is something that you guys can take to the bank, and you can keep trading, and you can feel confident about what you're doing, all right? If you can't do that, and if whatever you have doesn't work like that, then throw it away, because I promise you it will not hold up in the markets, all right? Trust me, I have racked my brains for years trying to find these patterns, all right? And it is not, and I live and breathe the markets, all right? So it's not something you are going to find in a book. But you guys, if you want to find this stuff, you want to look where everybody else is not looking, all right? I'll give you a little clue, and then I'm going to wrap this up. This is just a little clue. You want to find things in the market, all right, that normally do not happen, all right? It sounds kind of simple, but you want to look for things in the market, all right, that don't happen very often. If you can do that, then you guys are on your road to making a lot of money. So what is an example of that? All right, an example of that, and this is just an example. This is not one of my patterns, all right? I'm just giving you an example. What is something that doesn't happen very often, all right? This is something that doesn't happen very often. You see this little green bar here? It's called an inside bar, okay? Candlestick traders call it something else. We called it, back when we were just looking at bar charts, these were called inside bars, meaning that today, assuming this little green bar right here is today, the low was higher than the low of the previous day, and the high is lower than the previous day. So you have the low here, it's higher than the previous day's low, and the high is lower than the previous day's low. So it's inside of the previous day's range. You see that? That is something that you're not going to see happening a lot. It just doesn't happen a lot. Those are the kind of things that you want to be looking for, all right? Once you find those things, all right, then what you have to do is you have to figure out how to trade it. And see if it's something that will work across the board. Okay, so let's say you find something like that and it works great in gold. All right, now take it over to crude oil. Take it over to the S&P 500. Take it over to a currency. Is it still working? If it's still working, then guys, you've got something that you can feel confident in trading, and it's not going to fall apart. All right. So anyway, that's my little rant today. Anyway, just a really good day. This whole month is going to be really good. If you guys would like to follow me, be on the free 30 minutes in the morning, you can do that. Just go to my website, innovativetradingstrategies.com. Sign up for Discord. It's only $50. You'll be able to watch my trades. You'll be able to see my charts. I don't disclose how it works. That's something for people that are serious, that want to learn exactly how to do it, which I suggest if you're going to be a long-term trader, eventually you want to do it, because it's like anything else in life, right? I may not be doing this, health reasons, whatever. I may not be doing this for the rest of my life and teaching everybody, but I definitely want to reach out to new traders and just show them there is a different way of looking at the market. There is a different way of trading. And the last thing you want to do is be following the crowd, all right? That's it. Everybody have a good day. And tomorrow's Friday. Hey, you know what's going on in the world? Friday can end up being a good day. So We'll be here first thing in the morning and see if we can find some setups. All right. See you later.